Greetings, viewers, and welcome to a tale that transports us to Kashmir, one of the most beautiful but unstable places on Earth. A country renowned for its majestic vistas, tranquil lakes, and lofty mountains. However, underlying this scenic beauty lurks a past tainted with suffering, anguish, and hopelessness. This is the terrifying tale of Kashmir. Situated between India and Pakistan, Kashmir has been a source of conflict since British India was divided in 1947. Following the subcontinent's religious division, a bloody conflict erupted between the two newly constituted states for Kashmir, a princely state with a Muslim majority and a Hindu Maharaja. The partition of Kashmir resulted from the first of several conflicts between India and Pakistan, which were sparked by the Maharaja's desire to join India. The region is still divided today, with Pakistan in charge of the northern and western regions, and India overseeing the southern and eastern ones. But there was no peace brought about by this separation. Instead, it planted the seeds of a protracted war that has left the Kashmiri people living in constant dread and uncertainty. The conflict in Kashmir began as a movement sparked by political discontent and quickly turned into a violent struggle in the late 1980s as an insurgency against Indian rule gained momentum. The violence targeted Indian security forces and, tragically, also engulfed Kashmiri Hindus, causing a mass exodus of the Pandit community from the valley, losing their homes, their memories, and their lives to the flames of conflict. The Indian government reacted with promptitude and severity. The once bucolic area became a battleground as armed troops descended onto the valley. The Armed Forces Special Powers Act, AFSPA, granted the military broad authority to maintain law and order, but it also gave rise to many accusations of violations of human rights. For many Kashmiris, extrajudicial executions, kidnappings, and torture have become everyday occurrences. For the common people of Kashmir, even surviving became a daily battle. Their lives were forever impacted by the curfews, raids, and checkpoints that became the norm. Imagine being in a location where the continual presence of armed troops and the perpetual worry about what may happen next weighs down every breath and step you take. The psychological cost is enormous, resulting in stress, worry, and a generalized despair. The children of Kashmir have also suffered greatly as a result of the violence. Because of the violence, schools are often closed, and even when they are, many parents choose not to take their kids because they are afraid of being attacked. A whole generation is being raised without access to the opportunities and education necessary to create a better future for themselves. The harsh reality of a war young kids had no say in initiating or suffocating their ambitions. The quest for justice is a continuous and very difficult story in Kashmir. Justice often seems like a faraway dream to victims of violence and their families, overshadowed by the terrible reality of a battle that has lasted for decades. Accountability for massive violations of human rights is still uncommon, despite a plethora of reports and investigations proving this. Many people believe that the judicial system is prejudiced, especially when it comes to issues involving the military services, since regulations such as the Military Services Special Powers Act, AFSPA, provide extensive immunity. This alleged bias exacerbates the harm caused by the disagreement and feeds feelings of unfairness. In addition to sustaining the cycle of violence, the absence of accountability weakens public confidence in the institutions tasked with safeguarding and assisting the populace. The people of Kashmir are incensed and enraged by this continuous denial of justice, which deepens societal divides. Families who have lost loved ones, as well as those who have been tortured or uprooted, keep waiting for justice, which is becoming more and more distant. This disregard for their complaints not only impedes the healing process, but also puts future attempts at peace and reconciliation in the area in jeopardy, inflicting a deep psychological scar on the people of Kashmir. Internationally, other major wars often cast a shadow on Kashmir's situation. While the focus of the world changes, the terror never goes away for the people of Kashmir. A long-term solution is still unattainable, despite the efforts of human rights groups and a few diplomatic initiatives. The area has not made much progress toward peace, and it remains a geopolitical hotspot. But there are hints of optimism among the shadows. People, civil society organizations, and local initiatives are putting up a lot of effort to mend the scars left by this protracted battle. They keep records of wrongdoing, fight for justice, and work to mend the rifts in society. The young of Kashmir, who are the future's most important generation, are slowly receiving a lifeline from education and cultural initiatives that are slowly taking root. But there are many obstacles in the way of peace. Though vital, communication between Pakistan and India is challenging and sometimes halted by political tensions. There are demands for more autonomy for Kashmir, and for a resolution that maintains regional stability while honoring the wishes of the region's people. However, these remedies need for collaboration, political will, and, above all, a dedication to putting an end to the misery of millions of people. The Kashmir Horror Story is a mirror of the larger human condition, showing how the pursuit of power and control can result in unspeakable misery, rather than merely being a story about a conflict-ridden area. But even in the face of terror, people may be resilient. The people of Kashmir persist in their hope that one day their country will be free of bloodshed and once again be a peaceful place to live. Although the path to peace is arduous and unclear, it must be pursued. There must be an end to this tragedy for the sake of everyone who calls Kashmir home, for the kids who hope for a brighter future, and for the families ripped apart by violence. Recalling their tales, hardships, and aspirations, let us work toward a day when Kashmir may really realize its true potential as a utopia on Earth. This was the story of the Kashmir Horror Story, a tale of war and hope, beauty and tragedy. Until we speak again, cherished listeners, never forget the invisible battles of those who exist in the background. May you find serenity and be safe.